this woman is the one that's running quickest. Unbundled and three trucks in on the inside. All in secret is racing.
Hello everyone, I'm Pretorius and this is a class of racing. It's early hours in the morning out in the Western Cape at the stables, but of a hive of activity as you can see. Guys are grooming the horses, they're mucking out stables and we haven't even yet got to 6:30 in the morning. Well, today we're dealing with not the captain of the side, but the vice captain of the side, the assistant trainer in the racing stable. First assistant trainer we're going to speak to is David Lilly. He has been with the Kanemayer Racing for many years. David, obviously you were first a stable employee after your national service, straight into horse racing.
Yes, I was apprentice jockey and I got too heavy. I went to the army, so I think it was 78 and 79. I finished there and I got back into the game again.
Always been part of the Kanemayer Racing, or where did you start initially?
I was apprentice to Colin Palm. I worked for Colin Palm for a while and then he gave up. Pretorius took over and I joined PK.
PK, as he's fondly or affectionately known, was the Kanemayer Senior. Trained many top horses. You're always part of the equation, and I know he spoke extremely highly about you and your loyalty. You've obviously carried that through now to Dean.
Yes, I know. I mean, PK taught me a lot. Colin Palm taught me a lot. And I am a very loyal person and I've just stuck to it.
Your day, what does it all entail? What time do you arrive at the stables in the morning?
I get here 5:30. It depends. If it's something to do like take blood, I get here earlier, but I'm normally here 5:30. Especially in the winter, we get to start a bit later because it's dark, you can't see. And we carry our finish about 11 o'clock, 11:30, go home, have a cup of tea, piece of toast, and I'm back at the yard by 1:30.
And David, how many years have you now been an assistant trainer? Because I know I've spoken to you off air previously and you've said training yourself, not for you, you'll always be the assistant.
Yeah, I think I'm going on close to 30 years.
Narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 top horses with Mr. PK Senior or Dean?
Over there he was a great horse. Dynasty, I don't think we ever saw the best of Dynasty. I think he was a great horse. But I've worked with a lot of top horses. Price was a very good horse. That top horses. They show that when you start working, they show it.
You play a very active role as an assistant trainer because everybody always sees the trainers on TV. They're the main dudes, but they go away a lot. They go to sales, etc. Dean goes overseas a lot, and you become the man in charge. Does that put pressure on you?
Yeah, there's definitely pressure on you. I mean, you got to do your best. I mean, in the boss's way, I've put my head down and get into it. I mean, I've got to produce the results when he's not here. I mean,
communication with the owners as well. Do you notify them yourself when they've got runners or how the horses have come back from the races?
Yeah, if Dean's too busy, I mean, I'll do it and I'll do the emails. I mean, but Dean normally does that. I mean, if he's here, but if he's too busy, he leaves it up to me.
David Lilly, not going to be a trainer one day on his own?
No, not at all.
Dun Katz, the assistant trainer to Daryl Hodgson, training for Hassan Adams. Now Dun, you've also been around in the racing circles for many years, way back. It all started off as a stable employee. How long do you have to be a stable employee before you can get your assistant's license?
Neil, I think a stable employee is 18 months and then you can apply and write the test, the exam for the assistant trainers. As David said, things have changed a little bit and I'm not quite sure from an assistant trainer to a trainer how long it takes, but I think they are pretty more lax than they used to be in the old days, and I think if you can show them the real reason that you want to train and you have that backing behind you, you'll be able to get it a little bit sooner than normal. I trained back in 1989, I trained for about 2.5 years. I was actually the youngest trainer ever to get a license in South Africa back then, but I think I was too young in those days. I was very fortunate that I had some nice owners. I had the late Mr. and Mrs. Hume, who were Guy Rickson's big owners then, who helped me a hell of a lot. And I had some nice horses and I won quite a few races, but as I say, I think I was a little bit young. I think pretty much today you're probably the trainer's right-hand man, and you're there to take care of everything and the medications and to be there and be in charge when the trainer's away. And I think the more an assistant trainer works together with a trainer, the better the results.
It's not often that the assistant trainer gets into the limelight. Now, we know Daryl Hodgson's not one for TV. Even if he has a winner, you don't often see him on TV. You get the opportunity to use that as a platform. Do you find that it helps you as far as being recognised goes?
Look, I think it helps you as far as being recognised goes, in the sense in that if you want to do something at a later stage and you would like to train and you're still young, and yeah, sure, it does help you. In my position today, I don't think I'd be looking to train again on my own unless the opportunity arose and I got real support from one of the big owners. I think the game's changed a lot today, and if you don't have good horses, you don't train winners, and it becomes pretty much of a vicious circle in that sense. You're only as good as your last winner, and these guys that go out on their own and they battle with mediocre horses, it's a constant uphill battle. I think the worst part about being a trainer or assistant trainers is the hours that we keep. Horses don't know public holidays, they don't know weekends, and sick horses, the breaking down of horses that you become attached to. And over the years I've learned not to become too attached to any one particular horse, because in this game we're dealing with horse flesh and they're athletes and things do go wrong. And I think seeing horses that you love suffer and go through breakdowns, and in some instances having to be put down, for me, animals being so close to my heart, I think for me that would probably be the most difficult part of this game. Neil, I've been fortunate to have some very good horses go through my hands. When I first started doing my stable employership, I remember the day very clearly where I held a horse when the boy was washing him, and the horse happened to be Bush Telegraph for Bert Abercrombie, with Guy Rickson, Wainui, Chief Warden, Kiss of Peace, with Dave Coleman, Kissogram, Winter Winner, Budza, and now later with Daryl Past Master. So I've been fortunate in that quite a good few horses have come through my hands.
The assistant trainer for many, many years in Mike Bass Racing Stables is Trevor Taylor, well known in the racing circles. He's been here for many, many years. Trevor, when did it all start for you in the horse racing industry?
1967. Started my apprenticeship at Marion Hill in Durban. Yes, to be a jockey.
For how many years did you ride?
I rode for 12 years.
And
I was always battling with my weight, Neil, and I did 3 border camps, and then I came back, and then I worked on the stud farm for the Neils for about 2 years. After the stint at the stud, I joined Alan Higgins, and I was with Alan Higgins, assistant trainer, for about another 12 years. Yeah. Of course, Pocket's by far the best horse I've ever been associated with closely. Yeah.
Getting to the stables, what does your job entail from the moment you arrive?
As we get here, just first of all to see if all the grooms have rocked up. After that, each groom has got a task to perform, you know, wipe the horse down, and also mainly check the leavings from the night before, because that is your best guide to see the well-being of the horse, or if something has transpired in the night, not feeling so well. Everything works from the manger.
What is the worst part of being assistant trainer?
Neil, the horses are only a joy. You know, motivating labour today is not so easy. It's quite tough. You know, that is the hardest part of racing. The highlight, of course, you know, especially you see young horses come into the yard and see them improve, and when they win a race, and you know your work has gone into it, it's quite gratifying. Yeah.
Well, there we go. We've spoken to just 3 of the assistant trainers in the Western Cape. Obviously, there are many, many more. The 3 we've spoken to have been in racing for many, many years. They're not always in the limelight, but they play a major part in the running of a professional racing yard.